Let's build a program that can brute force into any password using Python. We'll have a look at the code and I'll explain to you how it works. And by the end of this video, you'll have a working program that can crack into any password. Here's a quick disclaimer before we get started. This code and video is for educational purposes only. It's important to use this knowledge and these techniques responsibly and ethically. Attempting to crack passwords or gain unauthorized access to computer systems without proper authorization is illegal and can result in severe consequences. It's important to always respect others' privacy and security. So without further ado, let's get started. So in our Python text editor, the first thing we need to do is import all the necessary modules. The first module we're going to import is the random module, and we need one more, which is going to be the string module. Next, we need to create a function and we're going to call it crack password. In this function, we're going to have a variable called attempts and we're going to set it to 0. Now this variable will be used to count how many attempts has the computer made trying to figure out the password. Next, we need to create a while loop and we're going to set it to true. In this while loop, we're going to have a variable and we're going to call it guess. And we're going to set it equal to a pair of open and close quotation marks and a dot join. Now the dot join function is used to combine multiple strings into a single string. In this case, the dot join is being used to combine the characters of the randomly generated password attempt into a single string. Next, we need to create a random choices function. The random choices function is used to randomly select characters from the given sequence. In this case, the sequence being used is the string ASCII letters and also the string digits, which is the concentration of all uppercase and lowercase letters in the ASCII character set, as well as all digits from 0 to 9. Next, we need to create a parameter and we're going to call it k. Now we're going to set it to len and password. Now the k parameter in the random choices specifies the number of characters to be chosen from the sequence. In this case, k is set to length from the original password, so that the generated password attempts is the same length as the original password. Next, we're going to create another variable and we're going to call it attempts and we're going to add 1 to every attempt made by the computer. Now we need to create an if statement, and this if statement is going to check if the guesses is equal to the password. If it is, we're going to return the attempts. In other words, once the function successfully guesses the correct password, it returns the attempts variable, which holds the number of attempts that were made. This value is then assigned to the attempts variable outside the function and is printed to the console. Now this entire function will be responsible for trying to guess the password. Next, we're going to create a variable and we're going to call it password. Now we're going to set it to input and we're going to ask the user to enter in a password to crack. Now we're going to let the user know that the program is busy cracking the password. So we're going to include a print statement that says cracking password. Next, we're going to create a variable and we're going to call it attempts and we're going to set it to crack password. Now the function crack password is called with the password variable as an argument. The function attempts to guess the password through a while loop that generates random strings and compares them to the password variable. Once the correct password is guessed, the crack password function returns a number of attempts it took to crack the password. This value is then assigned to the attempts variable, which is then used to print the number of attempts it took to crack the password. Lastly, we're going to have Python tell us how many attempts it took to crack the password, and we'll have it printed out on a new line. And that's all the code needed for this program. Let's go ahead and run it. Now Python is going to ask me to enter in a password for the program to guess. I'm going to keep it simple, and the longer the password, the longer it will take to guess. But I'm going to keep mine simple and press enter. And as you can see, it's found the password in a few seconds and in just over 500,000 attempts. Now this password only took a few seconds to crack, but if you had a stronger password, it will take more time to crack. Which is why it's always advised to mix numbers, letters and symbols in your passwords. It makes it more difficult to crack. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed or found this video helpful in any way, shape or form, then consider leaving a like and subscribing. Turn on post notifications to be the first to know when I publish a new video. Also, if you have any constructive criticism or any questions or anything, comment them down below. And until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.